So we come into the demand zone, right? So we first enter the demand zone. And the way I want traders to think about this is I want you to think about what we call a triple X model. So the triple X model is something that I've designed, and it's super simple, right? So the triple X model, as you can probably tell by the name, has 3 key components. You want to know where to trade from, you want to know what to look for, and you want to know why you are looking for it, right? So these are the 3 things that contribute to the triple X model. And so the triple X model is important because you need to always have these 3 things ticked before you take a trade, right? So often the best trading is simple trading, and simple trading comes from having less steps, not more steps. So once you know where to trade from, i.e. you have this demand zone, you know what you're looking for. So buyers and sellers, you want to know what's going on over here. In this video, we're going to be focusing on the 3rd and final step of the triple X model. And so the triple X model is basically the why. And so simply put, if I were to sum up the why in 2 words, it is basically using order flow. And so order flow is the only real way that you can tell whether a fair value gap, a demand zone, a breaker, or an I fair value gap is actually going to hold, right? And so order flow comes down to basically using footprint charts, right? Footprint charts are the fundamental backbone towards my trading, and it's the fundamental backbone towards supply and demand. So with that being said, if we just apply the triple X model to what we can see here and add a demand area, we want to understand what is going on inside of a demand area. So the only reason a demand area holds is because there are passive buyers present. Right, so in this region there are passive buyers present, in this region there are passive buyers present. So when we see price breaking higher and giving us any kind of retest, right, any break and retest strategy, which is kind of what trading is in a nutshell, right? Almost every strategy can be broken down into a simple break and retest. Now, I don't want to trivialize every single strategy down to break and retest, but a lot of strategies do derive from simple break and retest. Now, if it's so simple, why do traders come up with psychological errors, right? FOMO, fear, hesitation, revenge trading, over trading, over risking, over leveraging. These things simply come down to not knowing who is in control, and therefore not knowing if you're at a supply and demand zone. It's easy to see a supply and demand zone, but can you react in the moment based off true information, right? And that is what the why and the footprint chart is essentially for, right? So a demand zone holds because there are passive buyers at this level. And so how do you know that there's passive buyers at this level, right? So let's just go back to